Like, not to toot my own horn, but like, I'm the shit. You know, I am a really great person, and I have a lot of skills. And I'm a fast learner, and I'm awesome. And so for someone to also see that and agree with that and believe that, but then as soon as they do a background check, oh, all of that just went down the window. Perfect example. I had a interview for to work at a bank as a teller, and during my interview, the CEO of the bank came into like the ass end of the interview and was just talking with me and asking me questions and was like, I really like you, and like on the spot hired me, wanted me to have the job. So I'm thinking like, okay, winning. And then as soon as they were like, we gotta do a background check, and it's like, oh fuck. But I still was like, you know, had a little bit of hope, like, okay, well, the president got 37 felons, I got one, okay. And so when they did the background check and then they told me, well, I'm sure you already know it's obvious that we can't give you the job. And I didn't even question it, but it was just the fact that they said it was obvious. And it's like, what do you mean? You have someone with 37 felonies over our money and over the entire nation. and I got one. So I just thought that was crazy. So that has definitely been a challenge for me, is humbling myself and being okay with the fact that no matter how amazing I may be, I have to accept that some people still are not going to see that, they're not going to understand that, and they're not going to accept that because they have the veil over their eyes. All they see is criminal. All they see is felon. So it's like, if you can't look past that and see me for who I am, then, you know, that's your problem. But it's also my problem, because if I can't get employed because of that, you know, we have a serious issue here. Hey, my name is Marjani Abdur-Rahman, but you could call me Johnny. I just graduated from the University of Michigan, Dearborn, with my bachelor's degree. It's been a long time coming. This was something that I started in August of 2008. And here it is, April 2025. Jesus.
You got it though.
Yeah, but I did it. I did it. You know, I will say I'm more than a conqueror. So I take pride in all of my little wins.
So I guess where we could start off is, what, before you got out, did you know what you wanted to do?
Absolutely.
How did that come about?
So I'm a firm believer of having a game plan and having goals. That's something that has been instilled and embedded in me as a child from both my parents. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So it's always important to manifest and speak life over yourself and set goals, write them down of everything that you want to do. And that's exactly what I did. I had writ out a whole list of goals of things I wanted to accomplish, and I've done each and every one of them on that list, such as I said I wanted to go to nail school. I went to nail school. I'm a licensed nail tech. I said I wanted to go back to college and finish what I started. I just graduated yesterday. So it's like, and even the small things like getting a car, you know, when they was giving those stimmy checks, you know, in prison, unlike everybody else, I didn't, you know, spend all mine on Zoom Zooms and Wham Whams and sweatshirts of every color. Like, no, I saved my money. I had my mom open up an online account and transferred all of those checks and then some to that account, and did not touch it until I got out and I bought my car.
Before we get into the nitty gritty, I'm curious, this philosophy that you had now, was it something that, I don't want to make any assumptions, but we all went to prison here.
Yeah.
And so I'm assuming that mindset wasn't necessarily set in stone the way it is now with how you're moving and operating. When did that kind of become something that you stuck to, that you started to practice? And why?
You know, to be honest, I want to say that it started. I want to say it started my freshman year of college. Because like unlike everybody else, I didn't get financial aid and stuff like that. And I really wanted to go to University of Michigan. I didn't care what campus it was, but I wanted to go there. I felt I deserved to be there just as much as anybody else. And so with that being said, you know, my mom didn't raise a quitter, so I got a job, then I got another job, then I got another job. And I was working 3 part-time jobs while going to school full-time just so that I could go to that school. I was paying $2,600 out of pocket,
Out of your pocket.
every semester. Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. And people thought, you know, I was balling out of control because I'm always at work. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know that this university is my pimp. Like, I don't have any money.
What type of support system did you have coming out the door?
Well, my number one support was my mom, who is a retired social worker. So she knew all the gems, all of the actual resources and not the falsified bullshit that they would give you in prison. And so I would definitely say, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have known about or received some of the resources that I had. Also, I would also say my sorority sisters were a big support, making sure that I had everything that I needed, helped me to understand that now that my path has changed a little bit, you know, what can I do moving forward to succeed? I would also say a lot of my friends, a lot of my day ones, even some people that I honestly did not expect to be there. I had a friend from high school, and I haven't talked to this girl in God knows how long, but she stayed writing me on JPay and looking out and even putting money in my account. And when I got home, she's still here to this day. And, you know, just stuff like that. So I am very grateful and blessed that I did have a really great support system coming out of prison. I know, like, definitely don't take that for granted because I know a lot of people don't.
How did you figure out what you needed? How did you, like, what was the process? And like, okay, I know I wanted to go to school.
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily what other things you got in line, but
it was a lot of networking and it was a lot of research. So before my incarceration, my major was clinical psychology with a minor in Spanish. I wanted to be a clinical psychologist. I wanted to go to the Air Force. I wanted to be a clinical psychologist for the Air Force. I wanted them to pay for me to go to school and do all this and then get 2 checks from the Air Force and from clinical psychology, whatever that looks like. And so when all of this went down, and I found out that you unfortunately can't do anything in the psychology field with a felony, like, I really had to make a quick and vital decision of like, okay, what am I going to do that is still going to bring me joy, that still has to do with my passion and what I love and want to do, that I can actually benefit from and grow and prosper in. And so I found that out. The first way I found out was actually when I was in a county jail, a Genesee County Jail. There was a social worker that would come in all the time, and she would do an anger management class and a stress management class. And then she also had another class later on that was like a substance abuse class. And so, you know, I want to get out of my cell, so I'm going to everything.
Yep.
And so, but I'm glad I did that.
Series.
I'm glad I did that because it created that mustard seed, because I found out that this social worker, that this substance abuse counselor was a felon. And she told me, like, yes, babe, you can definitely get a job in the social work field, even with a felon. So, you know, a light bulb effect went off in my head, and I'm like, okay, bet. This is what I'm going to do. And it's like, even though I knew that my mom was a social worker, I did not know all of the different, like, genres, different fields within social work. I didn't find that information out until I was in prison, and I took, it was a free college course that they were offering, and it was actually from the University of Michigan, Dearborn, and it was an intro to social work. Oh, Lord. So when I found, when I took that class, the book enlightened and educated me on all these different fields within social work. And then just
That
speaking,
one book.
yes, this one book, because it was an intro to social work, so it talked about everything. And so the professor too, I had a lot of talks with her after class, and just wanted to make sure I wasn't wasting my time. And even she told me, like, yes, you can definitely have a job in social work and flourish. However, you will have some limitations. And so I'm like, okay, such as, and she told me that unfortunately I wouldn't be able to work with children because since my crime had to do with a death. So even though it was manslaughter, even though it's considered a crime of passion, the fact that, a life was taken and was involved, that they said I wouldn't be able to do that. So I was like, okay. So, just asking and researching, like, so what can I do? And that's when I was educated on, I could do mental health social work, I could do substance abuse social work. And I just thought that was perfect, especially with the experiences that I had of being this judgmental person that thought that like, why can't people just stop using drugs? Like, why can't you just stop? Don't you realize you're not only hurting yourself but everyone around you that cares? And I realized after being housed with these people that the only difference between us was the way we coped. Thank God I didn't have access to drugs and things of that nature. However, not saying that my coping mechanisms were positive and were right, but I didn't do that. So learning that information and being around these different people, that's also what made the light bulb go off that substance abuse is what I really wanted to do.
Did you ever feel like any of those questions that you ever asked were stupid?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, you're right. I mean, when it comes to any profession, really, like, there's the profession, and then there's the professions of the profession.
Yeah.
And it's not knowing what right questions to ask.
Right. Like, I feel like for you to tell me that I can't be a school counselor, I think I would be the perfect person, because I am a walking testimony of this is what you should not do, so that you don't end up in this, so that you can be successful and be all that you can be and all of this. I feel like I would be the perfect person for that, because you see me and know my story and what I've been through, you're going to be like, yep, I'm going to avoid that. I'm not going to go this route. I'm going to go this route instead.
When it came to you finally getting into school, asking all these questions, social workers, your professors, your mother, it really just comes down to, if you don't know what questions to ask, you just got to ask questions.
Yep. And I'm a very inquisitive person.
Well, I know that sometimes, a lot of us will, in a sense, be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
And that help does sometimes come in the form of, I don't know which direction to go.
Yeah.
And getting into school, how did you navigate well, let's reel it back. You mentioned your sorority.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask a few questions about your sorority. So when you got in, how did that process? Why did you get into a sorority? Like, was that even planned?
Yeah, so that was definitely planned. My mother is in a Black Greek letter sorority. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which was the first Black sorority created. And it was at Howard University, which is a historically Black college. So I knew that I always wanted to be a part of a sorority. However, when I got to college, I unfortunately did not like her sorority, no shade, but it was I just didn't mesh with the people. And a sisterhood is forever. It's not when you graduate, it's over. Like, it's for life. And I didn't want to fake the funk with women that I didn't really care for, that I'm smiling in their face when we're out in public, but behind closed doors, I wouldn't give them water if they were on fire. So, I had to do what was best for me. And, I had to follow my own path. And I did research on my sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho, and I really loved it. I loved what they were all about, that their aim is to enhance the quality of life among women, children, and families. I love that they
That's dope.
are allies for the LGBTQ community. I love that they advocate for women wellness and babies, children. It was just, and I also love the fact that the founders that created the sorority were all educators. They were all in the education system, and education is very important to me. So I felt like this was meant for me. This is what I needed to do.
What did the support look like?
So when I was incarcerated, what did the
Oh,
support look
I'm
like?
sorry. So with your sorority, what came when you got into this sorority? What evolved?
So I definitely evolved as a person. I learned a lot of leadership skills and things, learning to be a better communicator, networking, because a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. And, I'm grateful to know about opportunities and things because of my sorority sisters. I might have a sorority sister that's in social work. I might have a sorority sister that's an educator. I might have a sorority sister that's a doctor, a nurse. So, it's so broad. There's so many members that have different career paths. So it allows me to learn a lot of stuff.
Well, I would think too, like just the sorority itself having somewhat of a structure and, you know, it's not just the people that are part of the organization.
Yeah.
There is an actual effort to make everybody better,
Right.
in one way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have any did they have any like specific types of events or things like that you gravitated to?
Yeah, absolutely. So they have 5 national programs. One of them is Operation Big Book Bag, and what that is it provides school supplies and backpacks and things of that nature for underprivileged kids in need, making sure that they have a successful academic school year, that they have all the supplies and things that they need to succeed. Another one is Swim 1922, and basically what that is it's teaching kids how to swim, and more so kids, once again, in underprivileged communities, more so black kids, and teach them how to swim, educate them on swimming, water safety, things of that nature, because unfortunately, statistically, drowning is very high in African American children. So we actually have a collaboration with the USA Olympics, and one of my sorority sisters is actually an Olympic gold medalist who's over that program and supports that and does things with that particular program.
So as Marjani, knowing that you just came out of prison, really,
Yeah.
and you already have this, you got the shade over you.
Uh-huh.
What was it like being able to kind of merge into a group of so many different professionals?
Within the sorority?
Yeah.
It was discouraging and intimidating at first, I'm not gonna lie. Because we can be our worst critics. And so I'm always thinking, like, I don't deserve to be here. I'm not worthy of being around these type of people. Like, these are some women that are like doing the damn thing, have careers that are like
All black women.
Yes, living their best life, like doing it. And, and I'm not even gonna say all black women, because even though even though it was founded by black women, it has become multicultural, because I have sorority sisters that are Mexican, Russian, German, Philippine, white,
Everywhere around the world.
Everybody, yes. So it was a little intimidating, because you're being around all these successful women that is like doing the damn thing, and here I am just trying to figure what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
How was your interaction with them? How did they receive you?
I was actually shocked that they received me with open arms, because I was worried about that. I didn't know, because I obviously did not speak to everybody while I was incarcerated, so I didn't know how people were going to treat me or talk to me after all of that. And it's like, and if some people felt some type of way, I have to respect that and can't be mad at that. They're entitled to their feelings. Luckily, I really only dealt with that with one person, and I really could care less about them. But everybody else, yeah, most definitely, open arms, like, just glad that you're back because we missed you.
How did did the sorority have any influence or guidance in helping you achieve the things that you had set out as goals?
Yes, definitely. Because having that, once again, that support system, and the fact that I'm in social work, a lot of my sorority sisters are social workers. So I'm able to ask them questions and get information to help me go in the right direction so that I'm not wasting my time. Because, like, that was my biggest concern. It was like, when I get out, whatever I'm going to do, I don't want to waste my time with anything because I've already wasted so much. I can't afford to waste anymore. So every decision that I made and am currently making is intentional.
During your schooling, where were you residing? What was your housing situation like?
Here in Saginaw, living with my mom, being her unpaid caregiver. And, I really tried my hardest to try to take all my classes online. However, when you get closer to the nitty-gritty of being almost done, unfortunately, a lot of those online classes are not available.
Nope.
And so, yes, I was driving 2 hours to Dearborn twice a week, every Wednesday and Thursday. They tried it and tried to have it be also Tuesday, and I was like, hell no. And I actually had to do an appeal and asked them, could I do a substitute online course? Because I'm like, who is giving me this lovely gas card? Because who is driving 3 days a week, 2 hours away to another city for class? I'm not doing that. And so luckily the appeal was granted, and I was able to take my third and final class that I needed to graduate online. But still, that was still rough, Every Wednesday and Thursday, I'm driving 2 hours there and 2 hours back for class.
Speaking about some of the resources that you said your mother had kind of revealed to you when you first got out, let's focus. Let's kind of get to those.
Okay.
You said that you were given information about resources before you left. What can you tell me about some of those? You said you ran into some issues.
Yeah, none of those resources that they gave you in prison on that list were like accurate. Like you're telling these inmates that when they get out that, oh, this place and this place on this list will give you clothes. And that's not true. Yeah, they have clothes, but you have to pay for them. If you're just getting out of prison, you don't have no money unless you have, whatever you saved up. But, you want to use that for necessities. Not saying that clothes are a necessity, but you're under the impression that these places that are listed is going to give you free clothes to help you get situated, and that was far from the truth. So I'm thankful to my mother for introducing me to Michigan Works and telling me to go up there and to talk to this person about this particularly. And that's how I found out that there was churches in Saginaw that maybe the first and third Saturday of the month had their church, like had a room or building or something within the church or, in the area, set up like a department store where you could just have a field day and just go in there and get whatever clothes you need. Like literally 90% of all the clothes that I had my first year out came from churches.
When you went to Michigan Works, what was that experience like? I know a lot of us hear about Michigan Works, but not necessarily everybody has a dealing with them.
I actually appreciate that I actually had a good person that worked with me who was very caring. Her name was Amy. She was very caring and compassionate. I told her my story. I didn't sugarcoat anything with her because I didn't want to waste her time and I didn't want her to waste mine. Like, don't try to give me resources that I won't be able to obtain because of my situation. So because of my situation, what resources do you have for me, basically? And she was actually the one that informed me of this particular church that was actually in the boonies out here in Saginaw. That like every first and third Saturday, you can go. They feed you. They give you lunch. You can go grocery shopping. They have a pantry of stuff, and then you can get clothes. And that was like the biggest and best resource that I got when I was released, which was not on that list that they gave us.
How would somebody, if nobody had access to ask your mother a question,
Yeah.
how would you guide somebody to throw this list away, and if they didn't know where to go, like how would you guide them to start looking for these church places?
Right. That's why it's very important that I advocate for people when they are released. That's why I'm a part of things like PCAP and Linkage, which are two really great organizations pertaining to incarcerated and formerly incarcerated individuals, and providing platforms where I'm able to speak and engage with others and educating them and enlightening them and letting them know, what they need to do, where they need to go. I'm not balling out of control. I'm not rich, but however, I can guide you to this resource to help you get whatever it is that you need.
Tell us a little bit about these organizations that you're a part of.
So PCAP is Prisoner Creative Arts Project. I actually got involved in that while I was incarcerated. Basically, it's a platform that gives inmates a voice, and it gives them a voice through art. And every year they have this annual art show where all of the inmates come into the field house. They set up the field house basically like a big art gallery, and then they have these art critics that come from Ann Arbor, and they view and observe all the inmates' different art, and if they like your art, they choose it, they pick it, and then they put it in the PCAP art auction that they have every year, and they put it in this art gallery in the University of Michigan that they have every year. And it gives those two platforms those two platforms give people that are incarcerated that are artists the opportunity to get paid for their art, and they get 100% profit. So that's what I really liked about that. And when I found out that I could still continue to support and be a part of that after my release, I was like, oh, most definitely I want to do that. And then Linkage is for formerly incarcerated people, and I feel like it sets the platform to allow us as artists, however that may look, whether it's writing, whether it's cinematography. Am I saying that right?
Cinematography.
Yeah, whatever the shit is, the video shit. Yep. Whether it's spoken word, poetry, music, acrylic, mural painting, whatever it is, it gives opportunities for us to be able to share and display our talents, and a lot of times get paid for it. And Linkage has definitely been a very big resource for me. It has allowed me to have a lot of artistic opportunities and also opportunities pertaining to social justice.
How did you hear about the Linkage Project?
So I heard about Linkage by this amazing lady named Sarah. Sarah is part of PCAP, and she actually was the one that introduced me to Linkage. And that was one of the best things that she could have ever done, because I love the organization and what it's all about and all the people that are in it, because they're all amazing and awesome and do great things.
What do you believe the biggest misconception in following a path that you want for yourself? What do you think the biggest misconception is for those coming out?
The biggest misconception is that social work doesn't make any money. That's not true. You definitely have to further your education, yes, but it is definitely money to be made. The other misconception is that it's not for the faint of heart, that not everybody can necessarily be a social worker, because it does take a toll on you. You really definitely have to have the heart and the passion for it. Otherwise, you can be burnt out. So You have some people that might think it's a walk in the park, and you might have some people that think it's absolutely horrible. But just from my experience and things that I've encountered and that I've seen, like, I just feel like with all I've been through, it's a cakewalk to me.
What would you say to those coming out that do have plans to, get in touch with, a nonprofit, whether it's Nation Outside, PCAP, Linkage, A Brighter Way? What would you say to those to prepare them in dealing with these organizations? And I guess I'm more looking at it from, you just can't say, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, is there? Like,
I mean, at the end of the day, closed mouths don't get fed. You
Yeah.
definitely have to voice what it is that you need, and not assume that just because you got out that people automatically know what you need.
or are gonna rush to your aid.
That too. Like, you definitely have to be intentional and voice and express what you need. And also too, I would say one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is when you are reaching out to these nonprofits and these organizations, you may think that their intentions are good, but you want to make sure you really do your research and investigate and not let nobody play in your face. And what I mean by that is, you have some people that look at you like a meal ticket, in a sense of they will try to just put you,
Take advantage of you.
yeah, they'll take advantage of you and put you on this pedestal that you didn't ask to be put on, and just like the spotlight is on you, and not in a good way. Like, they will really try to defamate your character and bring up all the bad things that you've been through or that you did, and some of that can be very triggering. You got some people that suffer from prison PTSD, and that's really a thing. And so sometimes you have to be very mindful of who you talk to and what you talk to them about, because they might say something that could be triggering for you, and that can open up a whole can of worms. So you definitely want to know what organizations' intentions are and what they're trying to do with you and your story and your testimony. Like, are they genuinely trying to help you, or are they trying to get clout off of your despair and your sorrows?
What other organizations have you participated in events and gotten in touch with, made friends with, kind of just built your network with?
I would say, for one, Boys and Girls Club. For two, Big Brothers Big Sister.
I was in Big Brothers and Big Sisters growing up.
Yes, I love Big Brother Big Sister, and I do a lot of charity events, like bowling events, with them.
I would love, honestly, when next time I want you to call me, because I would love to come along.
Okay.
I was just telling my sister about this the other day, just our experiences with Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Every month we would go on an outing.
Yeah.
On the holidays they would have the big, like, Christmas dinners, the Thanksgiving dinners. Everybody would go home with a present. That's definitely.
And I love it because I feel like it sets kids up for success, because you're assigned to a child, or it could be multiple kids. It's really, what you're capable of, what you can handle. And it doesn't have to be a long-winded thing. Like, even if you only spend 15 minutes with this kid, an hour, the whole day.
I remember the difference it made.
Yeah, like, you don't realize the effect that it has on them and the impact that it makes in their life. And I'm so grateful, because actually one of my sorority sisters that passed away, her son is part of Big Brother Big Sister. And it's crazy because his big brother is actually a really close friend of mine. And so when I found out that his little was my sorority sister's son, I just was like, oh my God, like, it just meant so much to me. And I was just like, wow, okay. Like, yeah, it's a reason why I'm part, that I support and, do things with this organization.
So what about your mental health?
Ooh, child.
Mental health, your health. How, like, what? We all got issues.
Yeah, yes, we do.
And yes,
we do. Yes, we do.
What were challenges for you coming out?
Understanding was the biggest thing, and not even just with my family, but understanding from my therapist, because I did definitely see one. And when I say understanding, it's like it's hard to explain to my mother why the sound of keys is triggering to me.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain to my mother why I didn't want to be in very crowded public places. Things like that. Just wasn't understanding that. And then, like, even with the therapist, trying to explain where some of my stress comes from, where my depression comes from. She doesn't understand that I'm stressed and depressed because I can't get a job because of my criminal background. She can't relate. All she could do is be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah, it's not that you just can't find a job.
Yeah, it's not
finding
like I'm
jobs and you
like,
can't
bitch,
have them.
I'm really trying out here, and it's frustrating, and you're just like, "Oh, well, do you want to write journal about it?" Like, no, give me a job. So, yeah.
How stressful was that? Like, what type of mindset was there a shifting of a mindset as those things began to happen?
Like I said, it makes you very depressed because, like I said before, when you know that you're awesome, when you know that you have credentials, that you have skills, and all the necessary requirements for a job, you're qualified for it. Sometimes even more than qualified, and for them to still tell you no because of that, it's like, yeah, it did cause me to be in a funk, especially like if you're going off that list, once again, the bullshit list that they give you when you're released, and they tell you, oh, all of these jobs are felon friendly, but they don't put the fine print on there that, yeah, some of them may be felon friendly, but it depends on that felon. They're not hiring every type of felon. It is certain ones, and they don't tell you that. So it's like you can waste your time applying to all 300 of these jobs on this list and maybe get 2 callbacks, and then if you're lucky to get an interview from one of those callbacks, to later find out that even though you're more than qualified, they're still not going to hire you because you're a felon.
And there's really no recourse we can take either.
Yeah, it makes you want to give up. It really does, because it's like, and I get it. I understand why some guys go back to prison, why they go the illegal route, and it's like they can't get a job, but they gotta make ends meet. They gotta eat.
They gotta hustle.
Yeah, they gotta take care. They might have kids. Gotta take care of kids. They might have to take care of their parents. They gotta do what they gotta do. And so, unfortunately, when the door keeps getting closed in your face, you're gonna do what you gotta do. And unfortunately, sometimes the decisions that you may make can cause you to go back.
Well, you bring up a big point there, because we've been talking now for almost an hour, and almost every topic we've touched, the grand sight of it is it's all about the people that you have around you.
Yeah, exactly.
And like with your mother, with the resources, you actually had somebody that was involved in that, who knew the truth, if you will.
Yeah.
And then when you come to your sorority sisters, like, you literally had nothing but the people, almost all the people of your profession that you were trying to get into.
Yeah.
And that was one of the hard lessons I had to learn. Like, that was part of the reason why I wanted to go straight into school when I got out. I wanted to go straight into film. I was 34 at the time. I'm like, I'm getting old. I ain't got time to be learning this by myself.
Yeah.
Like, I can do some stuff by myself, but I knew it was going to take a solid, like people, not only a curriculum, but people around me.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn from people. I wanted to learn from the people that were doing the same thing that I wanted to do. And it changes the game. Because you can be by yourself all day long and come up with some cool shit. Get 2 or 3 other motherfuckers around you that's on the same page, and then see what you can do. And it's like, so I get wanting to fly solo. I used to want to fly solo.
Yeah.
Do everything myself. Be like, yeah. That's so that way I ain't got to worry about being let down by nobody.
Yeah.
And because that's the biggest thing.
It's a catch-22 because I don't have expectations for people, but at the same time, I'm not too proud to beg either. I know that you need people, whether you want to admit it or not. You're always going to need someone for something. So I never want to block my own blessings and get in the way of myself by having this I'm going to do everything solo dolo mentality.
What would you say to someone who would just say, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But
I'm a very blunt, transparent, no filter type of person. And I don't believe in sugarcoating stuff. Like, I would just tell them straight up, like, okay, you want to keep bumping your head and look crazy out here in these streets, by all means, be my guest. Because I don't know who Boo Boo the Fool is, but it's not me. And one thing that was taught to me that I learned from a book that I read a long time ago was that life is too short. You have to learn sometimes from the experiences of others. You don't have time to always bump your head. It's important to be very observant and mindful and see what other people have going on so that you don't make those same mistakes.
that was definitely a hard lesson. Because I was scared of being led down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's all totally understandable.
And so it definitely makes it hard to trust, especially coming out of the situation of prison, like where, you know, despite we know it's oh man, it's so crazy to think about it like this, but it's when we're in prison, we know that bad shit can happen.
Yeah.
We're on alert. But it's a normal alert, if that makes sense. Like it becomes our normal that we're on high alert all the time. And when we come out here, we tend to have that same like mentality.
Yeah, and you can't
with
be
the
like
people
that.
out here.
You can't do that.
And
it's hard to turn that off too sometimes.
It is. There's a conflict.
Yeah.
There's a conflict of the way the world operates. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, just basic everyday conversations, just somebody that's just bumping into somebody.
But you and I both know that that is a world within a world. So you can't, like, people in prison are different. Different in good ways and bad. They are different. And you cannot look at or treat people out here like you would in there.
Some perspectives vary, but because I'm of the mind, like, man, I've recently come to the perspective that in some aspects we had it right.
Okay.
The way we operate, like, who bumps into somebody and doesn't say nothing, doesn't acknowledge, like, just I feel like just in matters of respect, decorum, we operate completely different.
Yeah.
Because there is no like begging, like trying to get people to respect you. No, they either respect you or you don't.
Right.
You either have it or you don't. And it's when you're running track, you better yell track. Because if somebody sees you running up behind them and you ain't saying nothing, there's obviously a problem. There has to be. Why are you running up on me? Like, there has to be a problem. And it's those little things that got me. Like, I went to an Apple store my third day out. I went to an Apple store and it was packed.
That would have gave me so much anxiety.
I got in there and it was just packed, and just there were so many people that it wasn't the amount of people, it was the fact that I kept getting bumped into. Nobody would say anything.
And nobody said excuse me.
And when I would say excuse me, I would have to literally say it 3-4 times, and each time I would have to like get louder, like, yo, excuse me please, I can push you the fuck up.
Well, I'm glad that's good to know that it's not just me.
No,
because I
thought it was me.
I thought it was a personal thing, I'm not gonna lie, because I have noticed that people do not know how to say excuse me when they're walking in front of you. If you're this close to me and you're walking past me and you say nothing, it is very disrespectful, and I be having to remind myself.
Like what immediately usually comes after that.
Yeah, like I be having to remind myself, like, let me not pop off, let me not be that girl, because what the hell?
How do you see the world and interact with it now?
Oh, I see it completely different, in a good and a bad way. I will say one thing that has remained the same is I have a really big heart, and I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I treat people like how the judicial system is supposed to be: innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. So until you give me a reason not to like you or not to deal with you, I'm just loving and kind to everyone. But I've noticed that as time has progressed and changed, that people have changed, and it's not for the good either. And so it's very important to humble yourself and to be kind, even when it's not reciprocated. And that's hard. That's really hard for me, because I be wanting to snap, crackle, and pop, and I can't. You gotta kill them with kindness. I just keep telling myself, like, you gotta kill them with kindness.
Do you think the way you have conducted yourself and operated, do you feel like you've changed and influenced the people that have been around you?
I'm slowly but surely finding that out. Yeah. I honestly did not know the impact that I've had on people until recently. Perfect example. I had a girl on Facebook. I didn't even recognize this girl, but she knew me. She said that when I was an AA facilitator, just the conversations that I was having, and the fact that me and a friend had a prayer book that we created, and we would take turns just writing different prayers in it. And I had shared that with the AA group. And this girl had messaged me on Facebook. This was like about a year or so ago, but she messaged me on Facebook and told me that, like, me telling her about that was something that I did with one of my friends was very empowering, and that her and 4 other friends of her did that same thing, made a prayer book and shared it amongst each other. And I just thought that was a really beautiful thing. Or like even running into I remember when I worked at Rite Aid, this nerdy looking white boy that had a cone over his neck like the dog. I promise you I didn't know this man. And he was like, Marjani? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you went to Heritage? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, how do you know me? And he was like, I can't remember his name, but my name is such and such. And he was like, in high school I was really fat. And I was like, okay. And he was like, and you were really nice to me. And it just made me cry. And I was just like, okay. And he was like, yeah, you were always really nice to me. And he was like, I appreciate that. And I was like, that really touched me, because like you never know like who's watching you. Yeah. And so I appreciate that people see the light and kindness in me, and see the type of person that I am, and that it affects them in the most organic and beautiful way. That's all I want to do.
Oh, I love that you said that, like, 'cause it's true, like, especially for us. Coming out that door,
Yeah.
people are watching.
Yeah.
Everybody that you know that knows you got out is watching.
I have a lot of eyes on me, and it's not something that I'm proud of, but I have a lot of eyes on me. So that's why I'm saying every decision I make is intentional. I have to be very mindful.
You're interviewing
everything I do.
You have to conduct yourself as if you were interviewing every day of your life.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna look for the fall.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even necessarily say the fall. They want to see what you're gonna do. Just out of
I'll agree with that.
nosiness.
No, I'll agree with that.
Out of nosiness and curiosity. Yep. They
That's a better way to put it.
Yeah, they want to see what you're gonna do. Like, okay, she got out. what's she gonna do?
Yeah,
You know,
that makes sense.
like I'm curious, cause like I said, I have random girls who I accepted their friend requests on Facebook that I was incarcerated with, and they the main ones, the ones that I didn't even really talk to when I was in there. They the main ones watching me, and they're also the main ones cheering me on, telling me I am so proud of you. You have come such a long way. Like, you are thriving. You are doing it, girl. Like, that is very admirable. Like, you go, girl.
It is very funny because I've been, I want to say I've been the victim of that praise lately,
Yeah.
but it's really been, it has been humbling because, you know, it's, you know, like you say, I don't like to cast shade. You know, everybody's living their life. But I know where I came from. I know where I lived. I know what I experienced, and I know, just it's not gonna happen again.
First of all, I'm not your typical felon. I'm very high maintenance, okay? I'm not trying to go back there. The hell? Hell no.
Yeah. No, I got me some different clothes now. I need to keep these.
I like manicures. I like pedicures. I like my hair done.
And
even if I'm going to take out the trash, I'm not going back.
Oh yeah, they definitely. They definitely ain't gonna be. You're not gonna experience. It's funny to even say it like this because you're not gonna experience the department. Anybody going to prison now is not gonna experience the Department of Corrections that we had when we went to prison. Especially even me. Like, prison is not the place to go.
No, it's not. It's not. Except for if you're homeless and it's a last resort. Otherwise, no, it's not. Because I do know people that do that. They will commit stupid, petty crimes because they get a roof over their head, 3 meals a day, no bills, no worries. They might not agree with all the rules and everything, but they're taken care of, even if it is the bare minimum.
You know, this was just a little bit before I got out. I was working at the MSI, Michigan State Industries, in Carson City, and
you was working on them teeth.
No, it was the garment factory.
Oh, okay.
The garment factory, and there was this one guy. He worked in the stock department, and he didn't talk to nobody. He by himself. He was one of those, weird guys or whatever, and he just stuck to himself. He always wore rubber gloves. You never saw him without rubber gloves. He went to the bathroom with rubber gloves. Yes, it was that type of party.
Okay.
Party
OCD maybe?
No, he was definitely a germaphobe.
Okay.
But the day came that he was supposed to go home. We all got up. Usually when a person's going home, they call him down to the control center at 7:30. Release him at 8:30. Man, we all were scheduled to work in the factory at 6 o'clock in the morning. We all, including him, went to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was not on his bunk. He was not there when they called him.
Yeah.
They called him so many times to the point where he literally refused to leave. They had to force him. He maxed out, but
Why
he didn't want to leave. He didn't have nobody out there. He didn't have no family. He wasn't going home to anything.
And that is the sad truth, because I encountered a lot of women who, they were popular in prison. They were actually a celebrity. They were somebody. They had a prison family. They had a mom, dad, sisters, whatever. They had a wife. They were somebody. And in a dark and desolate place like that, you had people that actually, in their mind, thrived.
You just gave me chills saying it like that, because there's definitely a difference between a men's and a women's prison.
Yes.
And you talk about family and things like that. We got our cliques and stuff, but it's definitely that is real. Like it's when you knowing the potential of bad shit that could happen, being in an environment where you have close to 900 to 1,500 other individuals that a lot of them are in for violent crimes. And you operate under this like every day where you're alert. You don't make friends like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The men's prison and women's prison is completely different. I commend any man who has been incarcerated and made it out, because I don't. A lot of times I really don't see how y'all could do it, because women are more emotional. And so for that young girl who got incarcerated at a young age that's doing a lot of time, she looks up to these older women as mothers, as aunts, and that is her family, and that is who she's going to be under, to educate her, to help her maneuver through prison life. And you don't necessarily always get that same thing when it comes to the men's prison, because it almost seems as if like you have to do bad and stupid shit just to get accepted. Why do you have to shank somebody just to get a part of a clique? Why do you have to intentionally harass somebody just to get, like, it's just crazy. Like some of the stories that I've been told of things that men have had to do just to get acceptance, just to get a family, a clique, to have protection, whatever the case may be. Like I can't relate. I didn't have that same kind of story. You know, my prison was more so like high school, a really fucked up low budget one, that didn't have all of its sources and, you know, resources and things. But yeah, it's crazy though when you have someone that knows how messed up that environment is, but still willingly, voluntarily wants to be a part of it because they don't have anything else. So that's sad to hear that guy felt that way.
Well, it's so true though. Like, I remember everybody that's still in there. Mm-hmm. Like, I may not know them, but the situation that we were in, like, nah, those are my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I did 19 years. Luckily, I did have some family and I had some friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, but even then, like, getting out, it's a different type of love. It's a different type of, like, you know, I was speaking to my sister. My sister's a Marine.
Okay.
And I had spoken to her about this, just this feeling of camaraderie, even if I don't even know this person. And how, like, it's almost like just the only thing that all we need to know about each other is that we went to prison. Everything goes cool after that. Almost naturally.
Yeah.
And it happens so often than not.
Being in prison is my second sorority, because a lot of the girls, I mean, like you
got all the troopers out here too. Yeah,
like and it's funny because one of the girls that came to my graduation party actually said that she was speaking with my mom, and she was like, "We're Johnny's other sorority. We're her prison sorority. We're her prison sorority sisters." And I could do nothing but laugh because she's absolutely right. I don't, like you said, I don't have to know you from a can of paint. But as soon as you tell me you was incarcerated, oh, baby, I got you. So let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. Whatever. Are you good? You need anything? You know, how is life treating you? How's your mental? Where's your head at? Where's your heart at? You ask those type of questions.
No, you said it, a mental. And I think it's hard to remember that when you first get out and you're so focused on doing this, and getting this done, and going to see this person, and all that energy, you're just expelling so much energy that if you ain't paying attention to it, you know, it'll end up crashing on you.
Also, too, you have to learn to turn it off, because in prison, you're not allowed to show emotion without being penalized. If I'm too happy, they think I'm comfortable and that I want to be here. So then you have officers that want to fuck with you on the strength of that and give you a hard time. Then it's like if you're too sad, they want to put you in the green. I call it the prom dress. They want to put you in the green
the
puffy
Bam Bam
dress.
suit. We got a Bam Bam suit.
Yeah, they want to put you in the green puffy dress looking like Oscar the Grouch on 24-hour lockdown because they want to make sure that you're not trying to kill yourself or hurt yourself. And then if you're too angry, then they think you're aggressive. That's threatening behavior. They want to put you in segregation in an orange jumpsuit. Like it's like you can't win for losing. You can't be too happy, you can't be too sad, you can't be too angry. And so it really is hard, especially if you are somebody that did a long time, to turn that off and to be like, okay, It is okay. It is normal. It is in my best interest to express myself and to feel whatever it is that I'm feeling, whether it's good or bad. To not keep that tucked inside, to actually release those feelings and remind myself and be aware that, baby, you're not going to get punished for being sad. Like, you're home. You're not going to get punished for being too happy that you had a good day. You're not going to get punished if you got mad as hell that someone cut in front of you in a line. And
Damn, now she got me thinking whether I be acting stoic because I'm afraid to act happy and shit. Because no, like I was saying, people, I've been being confronted with just like, bro, you need to realize like all the shit that you're doing, like, and it just like you need to like take a break,
yeah,
you know, celebrate, if you will.
you do.
And it's just like, yo, I get what you're saying,
But
but I got a lot of shit to do.
but self-care is
But it
very
is true.
important.
It is true. I've been. It does make a difference when you start, you know, kind of paying attention to it,
Yeah.
and because you start to realize where that's coming from. You didn't even know it.
I just know one thing that I promised myself was I did not want a place like that to change who I was. Regardless of having to get in line and abiding by the rules and things of that nature, and, you know, this is their world, I'm just living in it, but this is temporary. And I did not want to let being in that environment and all that I went through to make me this bitter or cold-hearted or numb person, because the experiences that I've had can definitely do that. It's 100% capable of doing that. And I honestly take pride in people saying that, Marjani, you're still the same. You have not changed. You're still this bubbly.
Is that weird?
It is weird because, you know, when I first got home, I felt like everybody was a psychic. I felt like they knew, like, do they know I was in prison? Like, do I look like I killed somebody?
Yeah.
Do I look like a fella? Like, I don't know. You just automatically assume that people know.
That's real.
And so that was scary. Which is why, too, like, for a very long time, I didn't want to tell people that I was incarcerated, because I don't look like what I've been through. And I take pride in that I don't. I look pretty damn good to have done 8 years, if I do say so myself. So, you know, I don't want to be known for that. I don't want to be looked at for that. I want you to see who I am now. And who I am now, personality-wise, is the same person before my incarceration. Like, that'll never change.
What would you say to those that are getting ready to come home to help them be more prepared?
For one,
For what
like I
they want,
said
yeah.
in the beginning, make a list, goals. Even minor goals like getting your ID, getting your social security card if you don't have one, getting a birth certificate, applying to jobs, hitting up churches, hitting up the Salvation Army, because unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that Salvation Army had an actual office outside of the actual Salvation Army store, but has an office where you can go, you set up an appointment, and they will give you in a big ass brown box all the hygiene that your heart desires. Comb, brush, toothpaste, soap, all of that. You just got to set an appointment. Nobody told that to me. Had no idea. Once again, found out from my mama. So it's like, it's just things like that. Definitely prepare yourself while you're in there. Do not wait and foolishly try to figure things out as soon as you get home. Have a game plan before your release so that when you get out, all you got to do is check off that list. Everything is a little win. Okay, I got my ID. Check. I opened up a checking account. Check. I applied to 10 jobs today. Check. I went to the church and got me a new wardrobe. Check. Like, everything is a little win. And until everything on that list is checked off, like, that's what you need to do. And don't be ashamed to ask for help, because there are people out here that genuinely do care and want to see you shine. And it's like, you can't have that mentality like, I'm on my own out here, I got to do everything by myself. Like, no. That's foolish. That's foolish thinking. And to give yourself grace. In prison, everything was a waiting game. You waiting in line for child. You waiting to get your mail. You waiting for them to clear account. That also applies to life. You have to wait for things. You can't expect that everything is going to happen overnight. You know, you definitely have to be patient and, you know, wait on the Lord for things to happen in your life for your best interest. Don't try to be in a rush, and don't deal with FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't feel like you have to do things in a certain amount of time, because I foolishly thought that at first, like I got to get this done this time and I got to do this and I got to do that. You got to go at your own pace. You're not running the same race as everybody. You got to do your own thing at your own pace. And if at first you don't succeed, keep trying and keep trying until you get it. I think a lot of people, they're really hard on themselves when they're released. And they just have to have that reminder of, like, you got this.
Were you
it's
one of
all
them?
right. Yeah, I'm definitely one of them.
Me too. Even still to this day.
Yeah.